Brothers and sisters, we're in the hills above Berkeley. The climate here is wonderfully temperate. It never freezes, and that means that all through the winter we can grow salad greens here, lettuce, kale, and chard. And in summer, in addition to salad greens, we can grow tomato, squash, cucumbers, and melons. And we're here to talk today about victory gardens. It's something that we believe very, very strongly in, and that we utterly support. Victory gardens go back to the Second World War. By May 1943, there were 18 million victory gardens in the U.S., 12 million in cities, and 6 million on farms. And these backyard gardens produced 40% of the vegetables that were consumed in 1943. Eleanor Roosevelt instituted a victory garden on the White House lawn. It seems to us that these times demand some such thing. Look at the prices of fruits and vegetables in the stores. The price of fruits right now, $4.50 a pound for cherries, $3.50 a pound for peaches. This is outrageous. I can't even imagine what the prices are back east for organic fruits and vegetables. Moreover, we cannot be dependent upon a farmer specialist to produce vegetables. We've got to grow them ourselves. It begins in your kitchen. Every kitchen should have a bucket for food scraps. I mean the banana peels, the apple cores, the carrot tops, the melon rinds, the avocado skins, and so forth. The bucket, once it fills up, it should be emptied into a compost bin in your backyard. In that bin, in the compost bin, put a layer of food scraps, a layer of manure, a layer of garden soil, and then again a layer of food scraps, a layer of manure, a layer of garden soil. The compost pile is a digestive organ of the garden. It's really the heart and soul of the garden. What goes on in the garden is not in the garden itself, but in the compost pile. So let's get on with planting. Let's plant some tomatoes. What better, and maybe some potatoes also. So let's start by planting tomatoes. And here's a hole that we've dug, and in this hole I'm going to put some well-finished manure, and then I'm going to put some compost in. There's a shovelful of compost. And now I've got my tomato plant. And one thing that I want to emphasize with tomato plants is that you can plant them deeply, because tomatoes are one of the few vegetables that sends out shoots, that sends out rootlets from its stem. So therefore, the deeper you plant it, the more stable and robust will be your rooting system. So don't be afraid to plant your tomatoes deeply, please. And that's it. Let's go ahead and let's go ahead and let's do another planting. And this time we want to ask our intern Henry to plant the next plant. And Henry has just started an internship with us. He's a student in environmental economics at UC Berkeley. So very good. He's putting in well finished, well composted manure. Okay. And now a shovelful of compost. Very good. Very good. And here you go with your tomato plant. Very good. Okay, and now, brothers and sisters, we're going to be planting some very, very vigorous potatoes, which we've started from seed, of course. And Henry is first putting some well-finished compost in the hole, which the potatoes are just going to love indeed. And then we're going to put in a shovelful of compost. Beautiful, wonderful. Okay, and now you want to plant your potatoes. Very good.
Just grab in.
Just grab them. Mm-hmm. Very good. Very good. Very good. Uh-huh. Ah. Okay. Okay. Uh-huh. Okay. Uh-huh. 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 Very good. Very good. 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 And lo and behold, we've planted our potatoes. So, and we're going to go along and pretty much plant. We have, we're going to be planting some more potatoes and tomatoes in the days ahead, and maybe some more sweet corn too, which, as you see, is just starting over here. Well, brothers and sisters, we planted our tomatoes and potatoes. We're going to water them right away, and we're also going to cover them. We're going to put something over them to provide shade. Say, after we've watered, put something over to provide shade, and or maybe cardboard box, that would work fine, or a planter tray or something to provide shade, so that, because when a plant is transplanted, it goes into shock. So just allow it to rest and be in shade for 3 nights, and then take the cover off, water it again, and it should be doing just fine. And by the way, tomatoes and potatoes rejoice in transplanting. They take that with ease. And I want to ask, why is it that we're planting? We plant because the pandemic is one of many. It's not only this particular bacillus or virus. It's the pandemic of cancer, the pandemic of heart disease, the pandemic of high blood pressure, the pandemic of diabetes, the pandemic of obesity, the pandemic of depression, the pandemic of suicide, all stem from a profound imbalance in how we eat, how we live, and how we relate to one another. We plant because because life expectancy here in the U.S. has declined year after year in the last few years, despite the untold billions of dollars spent on modern medicine. And tragically enough, this troubling decline is largely driven by deaths from drug overdose and suicide. we plant because the virus is but a symptom of a deeper, more profound illness, an affliction of the soul, a disease of the spirit. For those concerned about the food they eat, you've got to grow it yourself. It's a survival skill. Wherever you are, in a backyard, a community garden, an edible schoolyard, or a permaculture park. More significant than the mere material fact of growing is reconnecting with friends, neighbors, and family. From the humblest beginnings, brothers and sisters, we are convinced that you will lead us forth to renewal, to regeneration, and to redemption of this American earth.